great question. Yeah. So that you're not running on empty all the time. That's a great question. I'm going to answer it. But first I'm going to say that one of the ways that I have learned to take care of myself is that I'm not going to personalize your book. And I'm going to sign my name, I'll sign your programs, I'll send anything. But I hate personalizing, and I have an older hand, and my hand will be killing me later. And I hate to personalize, and you can sign anything on your own book, and I will sign it for you. I don't know your name or anybody else's name, even if they're having a baby next week. I want everyone who wants to. We have a lot of M&Ms and Hershey Kisses, and I'd love to say how, but I won't be personalizing your book. So see, I learned to say no to something that I found extremely time-consuming, and I would get back to my hotel maybe at 10 if I personalized books, probably more like 10:15. The most important thing I learned was that no is a complete sentence, and that everybody loves to tell me their stories too, because that's who I was when I was a child. I was the only person in the family everybody got along with. I was a safe harbor. I had my parents needed me to be there for them because I was sweet, and I was always sweet. And it's like sweet women, you learn to be like a flight attendant for the world, right? You get a little caseload going, right? You have a clipboard, you over here, you go with the lay people, you in the choir, and it starts to argue a waste of life. And if you're writing, you can no longer afford to do it. And you need to find things that you can say that will help people understand that you're glad that they really trusted you, but that you actually have about 8 minutes. And even a window for them to show you. If you do have 8 minutes, if you don't have any, then you've got to say, you know what? I'm in the middle of something. I do this all the time when I'm talking to people now, because everyone will just come up and kind of jam in, or they'll say, oh, excuse me, this will just take a second. I say, you know what? We're in the middle of something. And I am so codependent. I am a black belt codependent. And for me to learn to say to people, I can't talk to you right now. Do you see that she and I are actually talking? So that would indicate that it's not your turn, but I don't say that. I would just say, oh, we're in the middle of something, let me get back to you. I don't read anybody's manuscripts except maybe 2 or 3 people. And I always say, I am struggling and fighting as a woman to find spaciousness in my life. It's the hardest work I do, and I have to say no. I hope you find a great reader, but it's not going to be me because I'm in the middle of something. I'm working on something I've been waiting my whole life to start, and it's going pretty well some of the time, so I'm going to have to say no. Yeah, thank you. Do you have one more question? Yeah, or are you leaving? Are you there? No. You just say no. Okay, last question.
This is about parenting and art.
Okay.
So it's very good that I'm here because I really need your advice on this.
Okay, but make the question quick.
What is the correct parental response for a parent of an artist in literary art? This is not, she's a visual artist.
Right.
The angst that an artist brings forth in the art is what that creative energy comes from. The angst that the artist brings across can often be their childhood and experience. When that experience is drawn from what that child experienced with the parent, what is the correct parental response?
Oh, the child wants to tell the story of what it was really like in your house when they were young?
Not visualized for the world.
Okay, that's a good question. Well, everybody owns what happens to them. And a lot of us were shamed and silenced, and just like agreeing not to see what we saw. And it took us a really long time and a lot of pain to insist on the right to be exactly who we are, to celebrate our own wild imperfections and our juiciness. It took us half of our lives to agree to be big in the world and to insist on that. And everything that happened to you is yours. My policy is that if people wanted me to write nicer stories about them, they should have behaved better. But I don't tell stories that do harm. I I don't tell, I'm always saying to my cousins, my uncles and aunts, I'm always saying, I so have the goods on you. I could tell your story, it's bad. And they go, I know. And they all try to stay on my good side. I don't tell intimate stories about my friends, but this is not quite your question, because their friendship is more important to me by far than anything could ever happen for me for writing. Most of the stuff you get for writing makes you crazier than you already are. If you finally get a book published, you're not going to get very much money for it, and it's not going to do nearly as well as the agent who sold it hoped and thought. And you're going to be emptier than you already were unless it comes from spirit. And it comes from a place in you that's filled up because you're doing such radical self-care. And because you're feeding yourself in a really healthy and aware way. And you have something to share now, and it's spirit, and it's going to fill you up to share it. You're giving from a place of thinking that the world's going to validate your parking ticket by getting published or doing well. It is so not going to happen. You are so going to feel like a greyhound at the race is chasing after the mechanical bunny, because what this world has to offer you as a person mostly and as an artist is direct. It's a hologram. It's not real. I've said this before, but it really is the eagle on the credit card. It really doesn't fly. The only thing that's going to fly is the stuff that's going to be an inside job. So I had a child who was an artist. Thank God he didn't want to write, but he's very honest in the world, and I taught him this value that it was not out there for him to chase down and capture with a butterfly net. The accomplishment, the achievement, a big enough audience. There is not a big enough, this is a big enough audience, but I've been doing this for 35 years. So this is like an amazing audience, but this is 12 books later, and so I taught him that the spiritual truth that I'm sure of, which is that it's an inside job, which is that we are pre-approved. There's a line in whatever this book is called, where am I? No, Imperfect Birds, where Rose is just devastated by a boy, and Ray is consoling her, and she weaves something into a scarf she makes for Rosie, and a little secret message, and Rosie says, what's the message? And Ray says, you are pre-approved. And so I taught my child he was pre-approved. He didn't do great in school. We could kind of lurch and flail and get through it all, and did well in math and drawing, but I taught him it wasn't out there. I taught him that all of his teachers and friends could think it was just great. It's like, thanks for sharing. If you want to be an artist, if you've got one of those golden tickets to be an artist, it's going to be like learning to play a piano. You're not going to be any good at first. You don't want to play piano so you can botch Farmer in the Dell. You want to play piano so you can play Brahms and Mozart. And you do it every day, like you do your scale, like you do scales. And a lot of the time it's just boring, but you feel this ferociousness about wanting to have the life of an artist, or a person who dances, or a person who sings, and you think, this is going to hurt me so bad if I don't do this. So I'm going to do it, and I'll just end with this. My favorite line about art in the world is something the great E.L. Doctorow said about writing. He said, writing is like driving at night with the headlights on. You can only see a few feet in front of you, but you can make the whole journey that way. And the most tempting thing as a teenager, and actually as an anything ager, is you just want to kind of know what's going on, where you're going, what it's going to be like, what other people have really made of the experience. It doesn't happen that way. It happens in presence. It happens where your feet are. You can see 3 or 4 feet in front of you. Whether you want to be an artist, whether you're wondering if you can get into college, you can get a scholarship, whether you can make a living I didn't make a living for 5 books. So the truth is, you just have to want it so badly that you're not willing not to do it. So that's the best advice I can give you. Thank you.